Great, thank you so much for that. Good evening to the CEO of Lockjack Global School of Business, Mr. Marianne Brown, Dr. Ron Sukram, Academic Director, Lockjack Global School of Business, Dr. Kevin Fleury, Faculty, Lockjack Global School of Business, other executive members and representatives of Lockjack, fellow alumni, graduates. Welcome. Classes of 2020, 2021, and 2022, congratulations. I've heard a few terms coined for graduates of this era. Classes of the COVID graduates, virtual graduates. But when I reflect on when I graduated this esteemed institution, Lockjack Graduate School of Business at the time, now Lockjack Global School of Business, almost a decade ago, my personal term for you is class of the resilient. You have had to balance all the stresses and sacrifices that come with succeeding through a graduate degree, with the mental and physical disruption that came with the COVID pandemic, the adjustments that were required at home, at school, in your workplaces, and society as a whole. Making all those adjustments while still pushing through is astonishing and commendable. And for that, you should be extremely proud. The pandemic period was such an easy and understandable recipe to quit. Put this on hold. Deal with life that was in front of you, just for that moment. But no, not you. And this is a true definition of resilience. Hats off to you. When I was asked to deliver this feature address, as much as an honor it was, I was a bit hesitant at first. I felt it was an extremely big task. I mean, what do I say to a group of graduates that are clearly academically successful, leaders of organization? What do I have to give? So I thought about it for a bit, and I stood in front of my mirror, and I found myself asking the very question, Renatha, what do you have to give? Becoming distracted by my own image, after seeing a few gray hairs, I wasn't able to answer the question immediately because my attention was shamefully consumed in pure vanity. Nevertheless, during my commute to work the next day, I reminded myself of the task, and I decided to ask myself the question a bit differently this time. What would have been encouraging to me at my graduation? What do I know now that I didn't know then? This was my eureka moment. What I didn't know then was how many times I would have ultimately relied on the learnings of my graduate degree to journey me through my career. For one, the dreaded weekly presentations. That ended up becoming second nature to me because they were such a staple part of my role in my leadership roles. So there's no other greater feeling than the feeling of value, where each moment you get to reminisce that it was all worth it. I didn't know then it all would have been worth it. So my charge to you today, you have earned this degree. You've sacrificed and worked hard for this. So after 2.5 years, you've achieved this. How will you now let it work for you? While the obvious thing that comes to us almost immediately is economic increase, how do I increase or improve my economic value? Of course, this is absolutely essential, important, and a necessary evaluation. But my charge to you is to assess in terms of how you transfer the knowledge you've earned in a meaningful yet tangible way. There are many ways to do this, through going back into your workplaces and impacting change, through volunteerism, through giving back to your community, or service to the alumni. All these essentially aid in building your own legacy, and by extension, this creates the economic value for yourself. Familiar to all of us, and known as the father of management, Peter Drucker said, "The basic economic resource, the means of production, is no longer capital, nor natural resources, nor labor. It is and will be knowledge." So this is not just a cute paper that you sit and you say you have, but instead, take the knowledge you have garnered to make a difference. When I was deciding on which school to attend for my master's degree, I assessed many options that were available, both locally and internationally. My attraction to LogJag Global Schools program was how extensive and practical the courses were. Additionally, all of this resonated with a culture that I was familiar and comfortable with. The very nature of the final assessment not being a traditional thesis, but a practicum, a hands-on practical examination of applying knowledge and skills that were learned was what solidified my decision. This has been the greatest value to me because I cannot tell you how many times I've referred to my business plan to help me through projects and work assessments. Whether it was an outline of a marketing plan, financial analysis that I did, or otherwise. My business plan for the first few years post-graduation was like my blueprint. So I can say with confidence, had it not been for the practical aspect that this degree afforded me, I would have been incapable of succeeding in the way I did. I can't help to compare the experience to my undergraduate degree. And as great as that experience was, an obvious value it brought, it did not offer the kind of practical, hands-on approach as designed by LogJag Graduate School of Business program, Global School of Business program. Hence, it was a bit harder for me to apply the knowledge gained in the real world. So I can tell you at this very moment that all the mental, personal, and financial sacrifice you've made are all worth it. That said, I would like to encourage you to be part of a movement that creates and impacts positive change. One of my favorite quotes states, "Gaining knowledge is the first step to wisdom. Sharing it is the first step to humanity." Guyana is well positioned. The Guyana we knew at the start of your program is no longer the same Guyana. According to estimates by the World Bank and IMF, our nation could see GDP growth of close to 100% at the end of 2023, compared to the end of 2021 figures. Guyana has already outpaced global averages. The trajectory of our nation is poised to post as the world's highest GDP growth according to Bloomberg. Not the region, the world's highest. On the heels of this global attention, Finance Minister Ashley Singh presented the 2023 Guyana National Budget to the tune of $781.9 billion on January 16, the largest in Guyana's history, under the theme, Improving Lives Today, Building Prosperity for Tomorrow. Each of you here is not entitled, but guaranteed this promised prosperity. So it is your time now to be part of nation building. Write your name in history and make your mark. The most exciting part of it all is that you are now academically equipped and ready. So be part of the movement of change and progress. Make your contribution count. When I was first appointed CEO, a very good friend of mine said to me, "Never leave the organization the same way you've met it." It was such a profound statement, so much so, I made this my personal goal and can say with confidence that I've applied this to every organization I've served. Whether that change occurred in positive culture, improvement in the top or bottom line, the company's brand or corporate image, however large or small it was, I saw it as part of my contribution, essentially becoming my legacy. I want to leave the same with you today, that you create positive change wherever you go. In this journey, embrace every moment and celebrate every achievement. Don't take anything for granted. I've repeated 100 times. If there's nothing that the COVID pandemic has taught us, is not to take the smallest things for granted. There's going to be some good, bad, and some in-betweens. I've had my fair share of disappointments and bads, and as cliche as this sounds, in every crisis lies an opportunity. Many times we don't see the opportunity until we've gone through it. I stand as an example of someone who has been battered and still ultimately triumphs. And that was because of my faith, God's grace, and my conviction of a strong academic background that could not have been shaken. I'm here to celebrate with you this evening and to mark your faces, because I am assured not only will you make Lockjack proud, but you will make your nation, your community, your loved ones proud. Then I'll get to brag and say, I met you, but more so, I know you. With this, I want to just quickly remind you of the importance of staying connected. The Lockjack Global School Alumni offers great and valuable resources that you can tap into and be part of. So I personally encourage you to join, but generally, just network at every given opportunity available. I can tell you some of my best opportunity and learning insights were as a result of networking. It is also an opportunity to build your personal brand, which is extremely essential in leadership. So again, congratulations, well done, kudos, and just for tonight only, drinks are on me. It's an open bar. Thank you.